Good morning, Madam. Would you like me to start?
Yes, Anna, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. This is Ana Armenta. I am the Arizona Racing Commission Secretary. Today is December 11, 2024. This is the 730th Arizona Racing Commission taking place via Google Meets. I will call the roll. Madam Chair French Contreras.
Here.
Vice Chair Olson.
Present.
Commissioner Coolidge.
Present.
Commissioner Zucker.
Present.
Commissioner Padish.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum. It is now 10:31 a.m. and the floor is yours, madam.
Thank you, Anna. And I want to welcome all my fellow commission members. As you can see, we are fully seated now with the addition of Mr. Padish, Commissioner Padish. So welcome. With that, we'll call to order the 730th Arizona Racing Commission meeting and drop down to action item B1. And with that, Mrs. Marciano, I want to ask you, I'm going to suggest that we take this out of order because I know that everybody involved tends to have a little bit of a heartburn when we start a meeting and jump right into an executive session. And I'm going to frankly motion for one for B1. So I'm wondering if we can't go through B2, 3, and 4 and get those out of the way before we address agenda item B1 and I make a motion for an executive session. Would that be acceptable, or do I need a motion to that effect?
I recommend a motion to that effect.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion to take items out of order and take B1 after B4. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Thank you. Anna, go ahead.
Thank you. I have a motion by Madam Chair French Contreras and a second by Commissioner Zucker. I will call the roll. Madam French Contreras.
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson.
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge.
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker.
Yes.
Commissioner Padish, sorry.
Yes. Vote.
With a total of 5 yeses, thank you. That motion passes.
Thank you very much. So let's drop down to B2, Arizona Racing Commission Steward Approvals pursuant to ARS 5-106J. Do I have any comments or information additional from staff besides what was provided to us in the packet?
Madam Chair, there are no updates. Everything was provided in the paddock or in the package.
Thank you. Thank you. With that, do I have a motion?
Chair, I'll move to approve the Racing Commission Steward approval pursuant to ARS 5-106J.
Second.
Thank you. Go ahead, Anna.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Olson and a second by Commissioner Coolidge. I will call the roll. Madam Chair French Contreras.
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson.
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge.
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker.
Yes.
Commissioner Padish.
I'm going to abstain. I didn't see a packet. I certainly didn't review it.
With a total of 4 yeses and 1 abstain, that motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Anna, we'll make sure, Mr. Padish, or Commissioner Padish, that you have access to these packets in the future. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or staff. With that, we'll drop down to the simulcast agreements, items B3, 1 through 11. Vice Chair Olson, you raised your hand. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. I just want to announce that on 3A11, I need to recuse. So if we could do 2 votes.
Great. We have that. So with agenda item B3.1, or I'm sorry, B3A 1, Parks Racing, Santa Anita, Golden State Racetrack, Charlestown, Mahoning Valley, Aqueduct, Penn Nation, Louisiana Downs, Sam Houston, MJC, Laurel Park. Do I have a motion?
Chair, based on the information provided to us, I move to approve agenda item 3A, items 1 through 10, simulcast agreements pursuant to ARS 5-112U. Again, that's A 1 through 10.
Second.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Madam Chair, I'd second it.
Thank you. Any comments or additional information from department staff?
Madam Chair, no, everything was provided in the packet. Thank you.
Great. Go ahead, Anna.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Olson and a second by Commissioner Coolidge. I will call the roll. Sorry, excuse me. Madam French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Padish,
Once again, I abstained because I didn't get a packet.
thank you. With a total of 4 yeses and 1 abstain, that motion passes.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve 3A11 for Los Alamitos.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Coolidge and a second by Madam Chair French Contreras. I will call the roll. Madam French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
I've recused.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Padish,
I abstained.
with a total of 3 yeses, that motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's drop down then to 4A. And I'm assuming, Madam Vice Chair, that you will abstain from number 11, Los Alamitos.
Yes, Chair, I recuse from 4A11. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, with the rest of those, Parks Racing, Santa Anita, Golden States Racetrack, Charlestown, Mahoning Valley, Aqueduct, Penn National, Louisiana Downs, Sam Houston, and MJC Laurel Park. Do I have a motion to approve pursuant to simulcast horse racing import signals? Yes, Vice Chair Olson.
I just had a quick question for
Sure.
Mr. Duncan. Mr. Duncan, are we, are any of these complete or are we still pending on all of them?
Commissioner Olson, all are still pending, with the exception of Parks Racing. They are complete. I also did receive Arizona HPPA approval for number 11, Los Alamitos, as well yesterday evening.
Okay, so we can, we just need to conditionally approve 2 through 10 as your recommendation.
That is correct. 1 is complete.
Okay, wonderful. With that, Chair, I'm ready to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I move to approve agenda item 4A1, simulcast horse racing import signals pursuant to IHA section 3000A3 for Parks Racing.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
I wish.
Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Commissioner Zucker.
Go ahead, Commissioner Coolidge.
I'll second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Olson and a second by Commissioner Coolidge. I will call the roll. Madam French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Padish,
I'll abstain.
with a total of 4 yeses, that motion passes.
Chair, I'd like to make another motion. I'd like to move to conditionally approve agenda item 4A, items 2 through 10, simulcast horse racing import signals pursuant to IHA section 3004A3 for Santa Anita, Golden State Racetrack, Charlestown, Mahoning Valley, Aqueduct, Penn National, Louisiana Downs, Sam Houston, and MJC Laurel Park, conditioned on the receipt of all necessary documentation and to empower the department to move forward without further commission action.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I wish to second.
Thank you. Anna, go ahead.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Olson and a second by Commissioner Zucker. I will call the roll. Madam Chair French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Parrish.
Abstain.
Thank you. With a total of 4 yeses, that motion passes with conditional approval.
Thank you. Do I have a motion on Los Alamitos number 11?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we conditionally approve for A11 Los Alamitos, provided they supply all the subsequent paperwork to the department and leave it to the department to approve moving forward.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Coolidge and a second by Commissioner Zucker. I will call the roll. Madam Chair French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Recuse.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Parrish.
Abstain.
Thank you. With a total of 3 yeses, that motion passes.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna move up to agenda item B1, which is the continuation of the hearing on the renewal of Turf Paradise's 3-year commercial and teletrack permit for July 11th, 2024 through July 11th, 2027, which encompasses 25, 26, and the year 2027. As everybody knows, on October 28th, this commission gave a 45-day conditional permit to Turf Paradise, conditioned upon an annual review of the financials by the department, a final receipt and disposition of the financial reports, and a completion of the submitted repair list based on Turf Paradise's track safety and grounds inspection report. Based on prior discussion, would I have a motion to go into an executive session to discuss this item?
I
So
wish to
moved.
make a motion.
Excuse me, this is Jean Galvin. I'm sorry, Madam Chairman, this is Jean Galvin, the board's independent advisor. The
Yes.
motion would be to receive legal advice, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Roush, you raised your hand.
Chairwoman, I believe it was on error. He's out at the track right now.
That's not a problem. So, all right, I have a motion, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a second?
Olson seconds.
Thank you. Can I have Anna go ahead?
Thank you. I have a motion by, I believe that was Commissioner Zucker,
Mhm.
and a second by Commissioner Olson. I will call the roll. Madam French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Parrish.
Yes.
Thank you. With the total of 5 yeses, that motion passes. It is now 10:45, and we will move into executive session.
Thank you. And do all my fellow commissioners have that link for executive session?
I don't think so.
Anna,
Anna,
can,
I emailed it to you and the same one that I sent the regular session.
Okay. Thank
It's
you.
right.
All right, thank you. And I'm sorry to the public. Please bear with us as we will get through this as quick as we can and get back to you. Thank you.
Tony? If you got more.
Looks like everyone is in. Should I get started, Madam French Contreras?
Yes, go ahead.
I will call the roll. Madam French Contreras,
Here.
Vice Chair Olson,
Present.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Present.
Commissioner Zucker, Commissioner Zucker,
Present.
Commissioner Padish, Commissioner Padish,
I'm still present.
thank you. We have a quorum. It is now 11:28 and the floor is yours, Chair.
Thank you. We're moving back into our first agenda item. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. I have some questions of staff. I do see Mr. Guessman has raised his hand. Mr. Guessman, do you need to speak now on this item, or do you want to wait?
Madam Chairperson Lloyd Yother, I just wanted to let the commission know that I'm sharing a screen with Mr. Guessman today. It's under his name, but I am here and just wanted to make you aware of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, with that, we will go back into that agenda item, and I will ask if staff has any presentations or updates on B1 for the continuation of the hearing on the permit for Turf Paradise.
Chairwoman, this is Director Jackie Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Good morning, commissioners and stakeholders. We're here today to provide an update regarding Turf Paradise's conditional permit. I will briefly provide historical background and timeline. So on July 11th, 2024 commission meeting, the commission granted Turf Paradise a 3-year conditional permit for July 11th, 2024 through July 11th, 2027, conditioned upon an annual review of the financials by the department, final receipt and disposition of the financial report, and completion of the submitted repair list based upon the Turf Paradise Track Safety and Grounds Inspection Report. During the week of October 21st, representatives HISA and the department staff were on site inspecting the progress made to the overall condition of the track and necessary equipment prior to the start of the 24-25 racing season. On October 28th, the commission granted Turf Paradise a 45-day conditional permit with the same conditions as a 3-year conditional permit after the agency highlighted 15 critical items that remained deficient. The vote to authorize the conditional permit included several provisions requiring Turf Paradise to provide updates on its progress in complying with the remaining concerns, and a requirement that the track report to the department within 24 hours any incident resulting in an injury to horse or jockey. The results of the Racing Surfaces Testing Laboratory, RSTL, track surface testing and on-site inspection were produced to Turf Paradise and the department on October 28th. The testing results and final evaluation determined that Turf Paradise was inadequately prepared for the start of the season as scheduled for November 2nd. The department brought the matter back to the commission for further consideration regarding the conditional permit. The commission then held a special meeting on November 1st, 2024 to discuss the start of the live racing season, the condition of the track, and the testing results of the racing surface. During the meeting, the commission unanimously voted to delay the start of the race season and required a non-disciplinary signed attestation from the permittee that no live racing would commence at Turf Paradise until ordered by the Racing Commission Chair. The attestation outlined that live racing may commence only when verification is received from HISA and confirmed by the Department of Gaming, together with the Commission Chair, that all live racing surfaces meet the standards for the region of the country. Live racing at Turf Paradise commenced on November 11th, following the retesting from HISA's third-party testing lab, RSTL, confirmation from the department, and approval from the Racing Commission Chair. Turf Paradise remains operating under a conditional permit granted for 45 days from the date of October 28th with an expiration date of December 12th. Next, I'll discuss the department's annual review of financials and the financial report. As the commission may recall, the department engaged an outside financial consultant, Mr. Tanner, to obtain a financial review of the applicant. At the July 11th commission meeting, the financial consultant provided his preliminary analysis of the financial viability of Turf Paradise. For easy reference, for those that would want to go back to the audio recording, you can listen to the comments that begin on 1 hour, 29 minutes, 47 seconds. The report is currently in draft form as the department continues looking into matters Mr. Tanner has raised. When conducting our investigation and reviewing licensing permits, the department does not comment on pending matters and reports in draft form. It's in the state's best interest not produce and make public pending or review matters related to the permittee's financial viability until the review and investigation is complete. We remain in the due diligence process, so the financial report has not been finalized. Therefore, the department has not rendered its final recommendation to the commission for the approval, denial, or other disposition of the conditional permit at this point. And right now, we do not have a specific date for the completion of the due diligence, but we will provide regular updates to the commission on this. The department does want to note that while we do not have the final financial report, in the July 11th commission meeting, Mr. Tanner stated that for this racing season commencing November 24th, quote, it does appear that the business will be able to carry out those races without a problem, end quote. The department continues to believe that Turf Paradise can proceed with this season's race meet while the due diligence for the financial report continues to be conducted, unless or until there is concern about the status of the permittee's financial wherewithal. And again, the department will provide updates to the commission on the financial report when they're available. Now, the other condition to the permit regarding the repairs and the status of the track. Beginning in July, the department staff has conducted weekly inspections to monitor the progress of the identified repairs. Racing manager Brian Duncan will review the items requiring work and repair by Turf Paradise and highlight the areas that the department believes are outstanding. I believe Mr. Duncan should be on.
Yeah, Mr. Duncan, are you available to give us that information?
Yes, thank you, Director and Commissioners. This is Brian Duncan, the Enforcement Manager. Good afternoon to everyone, Madam Chair, Commissioners, stakeholders, and attendees. I want to say I hope everyone has a great holiday coming up this month. I'm going to briefly go over some of this stuff. So, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to provide this update on the condition of the racing environment at Turf Paradise since our last commission meeting and their compliance with regulatory and safety standards. Been great to have all the commissioners also call and text and email the department for updates as to what's going on at Turf Paradise on a daily and weekly basis. It's good to see that the commission is really involved in all that. I do want to be brief, so I also want to make sure that we do cover everything going on at Turf Paradise. That basically includes what they've accomplished and in acquiring not only equipment, the ongoing repairs and conditions on the track. I'm not going to go through the entire June 24th letter, which was provided to the commissioners, but we'll cover most of it as quickly as I can. So getting started, let's say thank you to Turf Paradise Management for getting a lot of the major portions of the letter repaired. Some of those requirements were that Turf Paradise use 4 identical harrows, 4 tractors in excellent working condition, a grader to efficiently reset the track, which they have completed by acquiring as we said in the last commission meeting, 4 new tractors. They built 2 new harrows. They also acquired a grader with GPS, and they also have an expert to run it. This is to ensure that the surface is level and even. Additionally, Turf has installed an additional 12,000 gallon tank to help fill the water trucks. And all the, as Director Johnson has said, all the surfaces have been approved by RSTL. Yesterday, I did talk with Mr. Francia. I did provide him a copy of the outstanding items from the June 24th letter. Many of the smaller items were also completed, and I wanted to make sure that Mr. Francia knows that the department is appreciative that Turf Paradise has completed most of the items on that letter as well. Some of the requirements the department has marked as incomplete for Turf Paradise, basically to repair, are basically the better water trucks for the inconsistencies of the track safety of the horses and the rider, maintenance logs for all offices, and the claiming and receiving barn, appropriate signage for restriction access to the backside and paddock areas, plan of action for Elrow, speakers on the backside, and then what is the plan of action on shutting down the bathrooms on the K row because of the sewer backup and the leak. And I'll go through each one of these real quick. The first was better water trucks. Turf does have 4 water trucks available. 3 are for the track. 1 is for basically keeping the dust down on the backside. The big problem is all 4 of them basically have been under repair. As of 12/9, the water trucks still leak and produce inconsistent water output. One of the trucks does have a 3-inch boom. Another has a 3.5-inch boom. And another has a 4-inch boom. These are all different sized pipes that are producing different water outputs. They are all reliant on the RPMs of the vehicle, not a separate motor such as a pony motor. All this leaves one part of the track a little wetter than the other parts. Some of the other parts are drier. The other items are the maintenance logs for the steward stand, jockey's quarters, ADG offices, test barn, receiving barn, and there's a few others, backside toilets and restrooms. The maintenance logs, we've asked them to make sure that we get some kind of daily cleaning log so that we know when they went in and what they've done cleaning wise. We're also looking for appropriate signage. The paddock and barn entrances need signage that is restricting the access to those that are non-licensees. Also, those with licenses still need to be aware that when the horses are in the paddock area, alcohol can be brought into the area. Need to be aware bringing children through the area when horses are in there. We just want to make sure it's a safe environment for everyone going through the area. We've asked them to also present a plan of action on the Elrow. The area has been roped off, but we still need a plan of action, whether it's going to be condemned, fixed, or whatever. 2 of the other areas I think are the speakers on the backside. As of yesterday, the speakers were out on rows G, H, K. I know they did tell us that some of the cables were ripped out, and they are planning on repairing it on Friday, but I'd still like an update for the commission on what's going to happen with those and if they're going to repair them by Friday. And then finally, the plan of action on the K-row. There's been a few leaks and some sewer backups. They dug a few trenches that have been covered up now, but we want to know if there's a plan of action, if they have to continue with shutting all the bathrooms and showers down on K-row, and what the grooms and trainers can all do for showers because of the backup and the leak. For now, that's all I got. I want to again thank the commissioners for allowing me to provide the update on the conditions of the track and the equipment. As always, the department is looking forward to seeing what Turf Paradise's progress in the days ahead will continue, and we will monitor it every day as we always do as we continue to support the efforts for a safe racing season for not only the participants but the human and equines alike. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan. I have a question and then I'll turn it over to my fellow commissioners. Given the requirements for daily reporting and the other daily maintenance, not to mention, the more significant repairs, do you see enough staff available at Turf Paradise to provide those services and those reports to the agency?
In my opinion, for the cleaning of the restrooms, I think they could use a few more. For the track maintenance, they do have a good crew out there. Wouldn't hurt to have a few more, but the guys that are there do work all day, all night. They give their heart and soul to it. I talk to them on a weekly basis, and they do a very good job. Security, I think they could probably use a few more for security in the paddock area and at the entrances and things like that. But overall, they're doing a really good job with the staff they have. But a few more people would be nice to have on the premises.
Do I have any comments or questions from fellow commissioners? Vice Chair Olson, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. My question's for Director Johnson. I appreciate your update regarding what you've received and the timeline and what's still pending. And I know you mentioned that you didn't have an exact timeline for how much longer it would take. Do you have a minimum amount of time you can expect it would take, understanding that it could take longer?
Commissioner Olson, thanks for the question. That's the difficult part right now. Some of this is we're relying on some additional resources to figure this out. So my thought was, because we figured, the question always is timing. Within the next month or two, we could at least kind of provide hopefully a better timeline as to where we are with getting this wrapped up.
Thank you. And then, Chair, I just have one question too for Mr. Duncan. Mr. Duncan, my question for you is, of all the, I appreciate you walking through the 11 outstanding issues with us. If you had to itemize the top safety concerns, could you let us know which ones are the most concerning from a safety perspective?
Thank you, Commissioner Olson. I tried to put them in order. Basically, the water trucks are number one for everybody, and then the other ones are all the same importance. The maintenance logs. It's easier, especially for the receiving barn and the claiming area. We need to make sure that those are cleaned on a daily basis, and we want to make sure that they're documenting that they are getting cleaned. And then the signage, we have had some, in the past few weeks, we have had some, as Chairwoman French Contreras said, people walking in that should not be on the backside. They should be questioning everybody walking through with the licenses. So the top three, I kind of have them in order, but the top three are those, the signage, the trucks, and the maintenance logs.
Thank you.
Do I have any comments from fellow commissioners? Otherwise, I'll invite Mr. Francia to give us some updates on where he's at on these items. All right, Mr. Francia, are you available to give us an update on where you're at on these things?
I am, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Let's start off with the top one is water trucks. Mr. Sims will address that, where we are with the water trucks. The next item of importance is the K-Row. And what happened in the K-Row, some articles were placed in toilets that should not have been, like socks, underwear, horse bandages, a shoe. This in turn caused the sewage system in K-Row to backlog, build up pressure, and blow out at K1. We went into K1 and which is a barn, the first of the K-Row barns. Every room in that barn, from the tack room to the groom's quarters to the laundry room, all of it had to be torn up, meaning the concrete had to be blasted out, get down to earth, get into the pipes, replace pipes that were blocked. All of that will end today. All of that will be completed today. Tomorrow morning, the system will be tested to see if the repairs that we have done have are going to bring fruition, so that we can bring K-Row back online. And by back online, I mean the restrooms for the horsemen. The horses have always had water. We have provisions if we have to turn the water off to test things from time to time, to have water trucks available for horses for water. But the main thrust right now is the staff that we had hired, the consulting staff, to do all this work, which involved in the restroom at K1. They had to be totally torn up and into the earth, down to the pipes, new pipes put in and then rebuilt. All of that will be completed today, and the testing of the system will be done tomorrow, and we will go from there. If the system is operational, we're all happy about that. If not, we have provisions to, we'll have to decide how we're going to go forward. And by that, I mean, when we were doing K1, we had a 20-foot trench about 6 foot deep. We had it sectioned off to prevent any horsemen or people getting near the trench. But should we have to trench all of K-Row, and I'm just saying, should we, we're not going to be able to do that. That's too much of a danger to the horses. That's something that would have to wait till summer. So now we go into alternatives. What do we do if it happens when we test the system tomorrow that it backs up again for some reason? If it's we have run a snake with a what's called a scope on it, where it can see what's in the pipe. We detected 2 more areas of blockage, and they may not compromise what we're doing tomorrow, but if so, we would focus on those, and we could confine our work to a small area. We'd have to dig in the earth and get down to the pipe, but it would not be a huge wide open trench. Again, we want to avoid that out of consideration for the horses. The maintenance log, the maintenance staff, like the track crew, for example, they maintain that, but the cleaning crew, which comes in daily, they have not been. So in conversation with Mr. Duncan and Mr. Estrada, I'm going to have our cleaning service come in, and we're going to come up with a form that can be filled out, so that when the cleaning crew goes to the storage stand or wherever it is they're going, they can check the date, check what they're doing, so everyone knows that. The only office that is cleaned daily by the cleaning staff is the A-door office. The rest of the different operations we have are divided into what we do race daily, what's getting clean race daily, and when we're not racing, when we're not conducting live racing, then the cleaning staff, that changes. That's confined primarily to the restrooms in the grandstand and what we call the paddock room. that's when we're dark, because that's where all the gamblers go. So the solution there is to meet with the cleaning service and ADOR officials and come up with a program so we can maintain these maintenance laws. There have been a couple breaches of our security in the back stretch, which does not make me feel warm and fuzzy, and they are being addressed directly with the security director. Do we need additional officers? I think we have plenty of really good security officers, but in the latest breach, a hauler came in with horses, and that was fine. He had the papers for the horses. But then the following day, he walked through, he's not licensed. The following day, he walked through the north gate, and he was not checked and not stopped. And security on the backstretch is important to everyone, not just the department and the commission, to us, because of things that can happen back there. However, the incident did bring to mind something that the department may want to consider in the future, and that is haulers, those who haul in horses, are not required to be licensed. That may be something the department would want to take a look at in the future, because otherwise, once they get in with the horses and the papers, everything is in order. We literally do have someone on the backstretch that is not licensed. Some of the other matters that were brought up, well, actually not brought up, but I would like to bring them up, is there's a distance marker, a 16th pole, that just got lost in the shuffle of things that needed to be done. More importantly, that'll be done this weekend. I want to assure the department on that. There's wooden panels, and the wooden panels go in pens or stalls, outside pens or stalls. Then as for the horses' protection, they're big 3/4 inch plywood panels. A pallet of those was ordered this morning, and so we will begin putting those in place. As to the L barn or the L rows, they are currently taped off. That's a discussion that I would have to have with Mr. Sims as to how we're going to go forward with them. There's a number of alternatives. One, do we recondition them? Two, do we just tear them down? But right now they are off limits. That which is important and noted by Mr. Duncan are the water trucks. Mr. Sims will address the water trucks. If there's any questions I can answer prior to that, I'm more than happy to do so. Oh, the speakers. Yeah, at least I forget about that. What happened, and this has happened before, is when the trucks come in with the shavings for the horses. The truck drivers have the habit of leaving their beds up when they leave. If they do that, they're going to hit the wires which control the speaker system in the K row, among other areas, and that's exactly what happened. So Friday, staff is going to go up on a lift. The reason why we chose Friday, that's a dark day where there's horse movement is at a minimum, and we're going to have to get the lift to go up on the pole and rewire the system and then test the system. So we're hoping to have the speakers up, because that's the ability not to communicate is not good at a racetrack, and that has everything to do with communication. And we hope to have the speaker system back online. Should there be any questions from the commission? I'm happy to answer. If not, Mr. Sims can address directly the water trucks.
Vice Chair Olson, you have a question?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Francia, for that update. We appreciate it. And you might have said this, and I might have just not written it down quick enough. With your cleaning staff, that conversation, do you know when it's scheduled to occur for the maintenance logs?
Cleaning staff? I haven't scheduled it. I was just speaking with Mr. Duncan and Estrada yesterday about it. And what I'll do is I'll call the head of Plan B, that's our cleaning company, to come in, one of the supervisors, and address it with Ada, with Mr. Struck. You know, what's the form going to look like? How we can do this so that things are kept up to date on a daily basis. The date has not been set.
Okay. And do you plan on reaching out to the head of the company today and this week, or what's your timeline for that?
My timeline will be immediately after this meeting to call them and arrange convenient with Mr. Estrada and Duncan, and come up with the forms that they need, and my cleaning people understand the daily logs are kept.
Okay, thank you. And then I apologize again if you might have mentioned your timeline for this previously, but Mr. Duncan mentioned the signage. What was your timeline for posting the signage?
I don't have a timeline right now. My best course of action there is when Mr. Duncan is out at the track again, we will tour the areas where he has concern. So I'm not missing anything, and we'll come up with the verbiage, and I'll get the signs done by Signorama, which is right up the street from the racetrack, and we'll post them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Commissioner.
Commissioner Zucker?
Yes, thank you, Chair. This may have been addressed earlier. I had to change locations due to technical difficulties here, but on item number 29, main building inspection, showing Mr. Duncan's report is incomplete. Can we expand on that? What inspection is pending for the main building, and which main building is this referencing?
I can, Commissioner. There are two areas of inspection. One is Maricopa County of Health. The other is the fire inspection. The fire inspection included their 10-page report, which I emailed to the director for distribution to the commissioner. And that's one, it's a 10-page report. The all-important box which is checked is we are compliant as far as fire inspection is concerned. The second request from the department has to do with health. I contacted Inspector Trish at Maricopa County Health Department. They do not issue that unless it's requested by the department. She used the term I've never heard before. It sounded like the equivalent of a public information request, and then they will release the data. What we get from Maricopa County Health Department is when we are compliant, we get a permit to operate, and those permits we do have. If the department wishes more detail as to what Inspector Trish did on a turf, the department would have to make a request to the Department of Maricopa County Health.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Commissioner.
Do I have any other requests or comments from commissioners? Otherwise, I'll open it up to any brief questions or comments from the public.
If I may, Madam Chair, I would call upon Sims with the second of the most important items important to the department and the commission are the water trucks.
Yes, sir. If Mr. Sims is available, we welcome his thoughts.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Chairwoman and Commissioners and Director Johnson. The water trucks, the situation on the water trucks is a very, very high priority for me. And I've been working and talking the last couple of days also to Lloyd Yother, the chairman of the president of the HPPA. And what's most important, there are a couple of things. One is that they're putting out the same amount of water, and they can control it by driving, but the best way to do it is by having a pony motor or hydraulic proportional water disbursement, which is operated by the cab. So I'm going down 3 distinct roads Yesterday, Mr. Yoder had some questions about if the pipes coming from the back are of different sizes, will that vary the amount of water? If we have these pony motors, can they control that, or the water, or the hydraulic proportional water disbursement? Yes, is the answer this morning when I spoke to the folks, that either of those will control the amount of water coming out so that it's even. The three roads I'm going down is to get 3 additional trucks, to lease or rent 3 additional trucks. And we've located one locally, and he has purchased one that he went last week to Texas to purchase. And he has to come up with one more for me. The complication is taking the arms that are on the end that spray the water and take them off of our water trucks and put them on the new water trucks. It can be done. It could be done in a couple days. It could be done. It doesn't have to take long. But it's kind of a, they haven't done this. And it turns out that these arms are very heavy and the braces have to be fabricated that can hold them onto the water truck. We have a problem with trucks having, our existing trucks having problems. 2 days ago, we had 3 of them that were a problem. And Dynamic Diesel, as they have said, in less than 1 hour, we're over there. And all 3 were very minor. One was something that was a trigger of a reset or something, and the other 2 were very minor and they were back operational. We still want to upgrade. My first choice, the third avenue of going down is Steve Wood, who many of you are familiar with. He's one of the 2 top track maintenance people in the country. Dennis Moores, I talked to last night to see if he could find some water trucks. Delmar does not allow theirs to go anywhere except there. Steve Wood is the other top man, and he is called numerous water trucks, rather racetracks that have these arms. And he's hopeful that he'll come up with 3 trucks with arms, which would make it so much easier than getting trucks and having to take the arms off of ours and remount them. So I'm on it. I'm on it full time. I can't tell you how many calls in the last period of time, but many to get this done. So anyway, I hope that answers any questions anybody has. I'll be happy to answer.
Mr. Sims, my understanding is that notwithstanding whether you put any kind of a water distribution on the current trucks, they just won't run. My understanding is that they are breaking down constantly. And when you and I talked last week, you told me you were renting 3 new trucks and we're going to retrofit those with the water distribution systems. Have you?
That's still the case. That's still the case. But I was only looking for another plan. But that is my top plan, is to do what you just said.
Okay.
To get 3 additional water trucks, preferably from either Steve Woods or from if Dennis Morris comes up with them, because they would come from racetracks that already have them. I was only bringing up that third possibility because I was searching how we could do this quickly. But my first preference is what you said, to get 3 new trucks.
Okay, because it's clear from everything being presented and everything being discussed that this is a top priority. So it has to be resolved, and there's no other options but to come to a solid, workable solution and get it executed. So
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Thank you, sir.
So you prefer that I rule out that other one of putting pony motors on our existing?
Well, I can't tell you how to fix the problem. I can tell you that everything that I'm hearing is those trucks don't run. that even if you put those systems on there, you're gonna have a challenge with keeping them going. So,
I would agree with that. I would tell you though that we did get a sign off from Dynamic Diesel that they've redone all three, but that's still my plan to get 3 additional water trucks. We'll take the international water truck and use that for the backside for dust control and get 3 additional trucks for the main track.
thank you, sir. Any further comments from commissioners? Mr. Paddish?
Jerry, this is Jim Paddish. Can you share with us a time frame for renting the 3 water trucks? In fairness, the reason I ask is, as you've probably gleaned, this is a high priority item, and frankly, the shorter a time period you can offer us, the better things will be for you.
It's an excellent question.
Oh, thank
I
you.
wish I had, yeah, I wish I had if it was under my control and I had the water trucks, I could do it. But I don't want to put out any particular time frame because I don't want to have something I can't be committing to something that I can't control. I can tell you that early this morning I was on the call, yesterday's on the call. I mean, every single day, if I go back, Mr. Mayor and I were on with this other gentleman that's getting us the water trucks this morning, last night with Dennis Moores, this morning, yesterday and the day before, but early this morning with Steve Wood. I can tell you, I don't have anything else in my life that's a higher priority right now for me than getting these water trucks.
I apologize for pressing you on this, but in order for us to do what we need to do, I do need some estimate from you of how long or how short an amount of time you think that you can accomplish this.
I would say if I had to guess, and I understand if you're asking me again, you need an answer. I would say I'm hoping within 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
To have now one of my other thoughts, and I had a call on this with Jim, the fellow getting us the trucks today, is he has one here, and I'd like to start. He'll let me know today. It was in the paint shop when that would be ready. Mr. Mayor and I were on the phone with him this morning, and he has another one in Kentucky that he has to get a truck under, as he said, and bring it out. But I'd be happy if I could phase them in as we get them, so that so if he's got this one that and the other one coming, and some other sources that we're looking at. But so I would hope strongly that in 3 to 4 weeks, because we have to get the arms put on. And while one of the companies said they could do it in 2 days, they haven't done it. And these braces have to be fabricated that'll hold those. So if that helps, I would say that would be my best guesstimate.
Well, thank you. That was helpful. I appreciate it.
On the good news.
Go ahead, Mr. Sims.
Nothing to do with this because this has all been a top priority, but we weren't happy with the bathrooms at the track for the customer use. So we brought in the cleaning crew. Sal was not happy with what they did because they didn't do baseboards. They shined the floors. He went in and has been painting and filling any holes and patching and painting because we heard about those, we know about them, and so they're pretty much finished except for the deep cleaning. The painting is finished. And just on a customer note, on one other thing that's going on that's really good is there's a new league that's being formed called the National Thoroughbred League. Just like you have an NBA and an NFL, they want to start a horse race league. And people approached us for us to be their 10th track. And we're going to have an event on December 30th. They chose that date because it's a Monday and it ties into the Fiesta Bowl. And they have people that own these teams. And I believe Kyle Murray is the quarterback from the Cardinals, is on the Arizona team on the Turf Paradise ownership. And, but they've got all the other teams coming. They want to make Arizona their focus or headquarters. So they're going to run 3 races. All the jockeys will wear the same silks. They're putting up $45,000 for each race for those 3 races for purse money. And they're going to do a lot of advertising and promoting. There's already been meetings going on about it. They're bringing in the celebrities. I know Dr. J is a part of a team, I think, in Philadelphia. He's coming, I understand, and a bunch of other people. But it'll be a big event on December 30th to start this National Thoroughbred League. I just wanted to let you know about that. You're all invited out on that day. It should be a real good horse racing day.
Thank you, sir. Do I have any other, Vice Chair Olson?
Yes, thank you, Chair. My question's for Mr. Duncan. I just want to circle back based on the updates we received. I understand that water trucks were your highest priority. And given the estimate of 3 to 4 weeks, I'm just wondering if that timeline is reasonable to you, Mr. Duncan, or if that would cause you some concern regarding the imminent safety of the track.
Thank you, Commissioner Olson. It does cause a little concern, but they are doing a very good job of, as Mr. Sims stated, making sure that Dynamic Diesel is there for the repairs at all times. They are quick to come out and repair. The quicker you can get the pony motors with water trucks with pony motors, the better off we are.
Mr. Duncan, question: are you familiar? These other trucks they're bringing have hydraulic proportional water disbursement, where it's done from the driver in the cab. They said that that's the equivalent of same but a different manufacturer than the pony motor.
I am aware of it with the computer system controlling the water output. I just would like to ask them with the different size boom arms on whether that's going to make a difference or not. That's the only thing that in my mind that I'm unsure of.
I asked them that was one of Lloyd Yother's questions yesterday, and I got an answer this morning. Are you referring to the size of the pipes on the different trucks, or what I was told was that it'll control the water where you can keep it even with the computer, the hydraulic proportional water disbursement.
Yes, Mr. Sims, that is the question I had, since there is 3.5 or 3-inch to 4-inch pipes, all 3 of them being different, controlling the water and the output on the 3 different sizes is what my question would be.
Yeah, let me see if I can understand it clearly. The 3 trucks we'd be talking about hopefully would all be the same. We would not be using our current trucks. In other words, we're not going to put hydraulic proportional water disbursements on our existing trucks because, as Chairwoman French Contreras said, we've had problems with the trucks, and the first choice is to get 3 new trucks in. So those hopefully would have the same size pipes.
Okay, and then Mr. Sims, my question would be, are there going to be new boom arms added to the new water trucks, or are you going to use the existing boom arms from the water trucks?
We would be using the same boom arms.
Okay, so then again, my question to them would be, since they are 3 different pipe sizes, with the computer system that they use and the hydraulic system that they use, is that going to be the same output on each truck?
Yeah, that's what I asked them this morning, and the answer was that they could control it to be even.
Okay, that would be good.
Anything further from staff or commissioners? Mr. Gussman, I apologize. Mr. Commissioner Padish, would you like to speak?
Yeah, yes, please. And actually, I'm going to redirect Vice Chair Olson's question to Lloyd Yother. Mr. Yother, from the horseman's perspective, is the current situation with the water trucks an imminent danger to the horses or jockeys?
Chairman Padish, Lloyd Yother, President of HPPA. I'm sharing the screen with Leroy Gassman. That's the reason you see me, but I'm not Leroy, obviously. I got my hand up also to address what I would like to see with the water trucks. Let me just start from the beginning, if I may, and we've all hashed this out numerous times, and I understand what Mr. Sims is saying. I think he's on the right track, and I think he's at the understanding, but the problem I have is timing. We need to put this problem to bed, so to speak, and get something moving in one direction. My interpretation are the 4 water trucks that we currently have are not acceptable for the racetrack. I've asked Mr. Sims to verify with the new water, not new necessarily, but with the different water trucks that he's negotiating to acquire, that he verify that they have that with the existing booms and the distant water nozzles that's on those 3, 3.5, and 4-inch water pipes, do they make a difference? So in the meantime, this morning I asked Mr. Vince Francia to set up could he set up a meeting that I could talk to this gentleman, and he's trying to set it up for today that I can ask the questions that I have concerns about, meaning does this computerized water disbursement system actually work the way we need it to work for a racetrack? It may work in other instances, it may work for a racetrack as well, but nobody that I've talked to in the industry has used or is using this system or using trucks with pony motors. But I don't think we need to waste the pony motor money, or Mr. Sims waste his money on the existing trucks. My opinion, the existing trucks, they need to be gone. Our main focus should be on getting 3 new trucks as soon as possible. 1 in 3 or 4 weeks is not going to get it done. Unfortunately, we need 3 in less than 3 or 4 weeks, but maybe that's not possible. But whatever the quickest means is, and they do need to be some timelines set that we can look forward to or readjust as need be, and go from there. And I understand, like I say, Mr. Sims is working diligently to try to get this problem solved, but we need to make a decision now and just move forward with which direction we're going to go and be done with it. So I hope I've answered your question, but does it concern me about the water trucks, existing water trucks? Yes, it does, because they're inconsistent, putting moisture on the track. The track's wet on the outside, dry on the middle, even on the outside, or vice versa, depending on which truck goes down which lane. And it's causing some issues with horses during racing and in training. Hope that answers your question.
Any further comments?
This is Jerry. I will do everything I can to get these trucks as soon as I can. I'd like to get them sooner than I'm saying, but I don't want to set a timeline that I can't meet. But I'll do everything I can to get them yesterday.
Well, what I'm really asking, Jerry, is you're talking about 1 in 3 or 4 weeks?
No,
Or are
no,
we
no, no,
talking
no, no,
about
no.
2 in 3 or 4 weeks or 3 in 3 or 4 weeks? That's what I don't
I
understand.
want 3 in 3 to 4 weeks
Okay.
was the answer to getting 3 of them.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Mr. Nolan? Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. My concern here is we're dealing with this. At the last meeting, I believe this commission was totally misled by, I think it was General Manager Francia stating that the 3 water trucks from Canterbury were on the way. That's total misleading you. How do we know that any of this is going on? We have a delay. We're 5 weeks into the meet. You're talking about another month. No one is addressing the fact that we have an integrity problem here for the wagering public. Mr. Yoder just stated part of the track is wetter than here, then here, then here. How do these wagering public, that is your duty to protect the wagering public also. And the delay game is just on and on. And I'll give you another, for instance. A year ago when Mr. Sims was trying to open, he said he could water the turf course for 2 weeks and it would be fine. The turf course gets watered and that turf course looks absolutely horrible when comparing it to other regions of the country, such as Gulfstream and the fairgrounds. Just please take it with a grain of salt. What is being said by these people? They have misled you. They have misled this industry. And it's hard to bring that to you, but you should know that by now. And I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Mr. Braddock, did you have a comment?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Nolan, of course, is entitled to his opinion, and he also seems to be under the impression that we're entitled to it as well. But I'm interested in when he mentions horse players. I speak with dozens of horse players every day who play Turf Paradise. Hundreds during the course of a week or a month, all through our meet. When I put out stuff regarding picking horses for horse racing fans, or in my social media work, in talking to them face to face, on our broadcasts, we always discuss the track. If you listen to my race calls, I often discuss what part of a track is playing faster, what part of a track is playing slower. Will it suit horses who like to be on the front end early? Will it suit horses who like to be from off the pace? Regarding the turf track, it doesn't look fantastic. It's interesting he brings up other tracks. They have issues as well. From what I have been told by horsemen and from what I have been told by horse players, they think from a wagering perspective, the tracks are playing fair. All of this is information that I give out on a daily basis to handicappers here in Arizona, across the country, around the world. And I work my guts off to try and present this track as a good wagering opportunity. And I would ask Mr. Nolan, you speak at every meeting, but I've never seen you once actually promote the track to horse players or suggest in a public meeting people have a look at wagering at Turf Paradise. Anyone can be negative the whole time, but in fact, if you actually listen, horse players are playing the track, both the dirt track and the turf track. We're getting a lot of interest in people wagering on our products right now. And it would do everyone a great deal of good, I think, to try and look at some of the more positive aspects that are going on here. Thank you.
May I respond?
Chair, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Vice Chair. No, Mr. Nolan, this isn't a discussion back and forth item. You've had an opportunity to comment. We're going to move forward. If I don't have any other comments or questions from my commissioners, I'm going to ask for a motion.
Madam Chair, I have a motion.
Yes, sir.
I move that we table consideration of agenda item B1 and extend the conditional permit for 45 days to allow Turf Paradise to promptly remedy the remaining items identified in the department's June 24, 2024 report.
I second.
Anna, go ahead.
Sorry. Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Padish and a second by Commissioner Olson. I will call roll. Madam Chair French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Padish.
Yes.
With a total of 5 yeses, thank you. That motion passes.
Thank you. All right, let's go ahead then and drop down to the staff reports. Hold on, I lost my agenda. Bear with me. There we go. Let's drop down then to item C, information reports. We have number 1, track safety report. Mr. Estrada or Ms. Alvarez, who do we have to present for this for us?
Yes, Chair, not much to report on this item. We continue to track items and, working alongside with the HPPA, HISA, and track management there to ensure that things are getting done. For the most part, they're steadily getting things done, and we continue to log them and report them to the commission.
Thank you, sir. Dropping down then to budget. Do we have a report on budget?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here to give the report. This is Latrina Roseman.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to give you a budget update as of November 30th, 2024. We currently have a cash balance of $1.699 million. Year to date for the month of November for RWA, we've collected for that month, we've collected $109,000. For pari-mutuel, we've collected $7,655. We have not collected any dark days assessments. The boxing license fees is $9,147. And the racing license fees is $61,972. Bringing us to the total collected for the month of November of $188,000. Dropping down to our expenditures for payroll and employee-related expenses for the month of November, we have little over $143,000. We didn't have any legal costs nor building rent. And all other contracted services, including temporary staff, is at $11,166 for the month. It's bringing us a total expenses of $154,000. Next slide. So here's this slide is basically showing what our appropriations doing. It looks like it's on track to spend what we have projected to spend throughout the year. And then the last slide is a racing cash balance. And we're within reason as well for this. Is there any questions for me?
No, thank you. Any questions from fellow commissioners? If not, we'll drop on down then to our next agenda item. Sorry, I keep losing my agenda items. Sorry about that. Legislative update number 3.
Chairwoman.
There you are.
This is Director Johnson. There is no legislative update.
All right.
This time around. So
we'll
Jessica.
drop down then to item C4, report on Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Act. Mr. Guessman, would that be you?
Yes, ma'am. This is Chairwoman, Commissioners, and staff, Leroy Guessman with the HBPA. A couple things have developed in our lawsuit with HISA. On December 2nd, our petitions were distributed to the justices at the Supreme Court, and we are scheduled for conference on January 10th. So that is moving forward. Also, I do want to state there was a new lawsuit filed, which I think this will be the 6th lawsuit against HISA. It was filed by Churchill Downs in partner with Naira Racing. They too are stating HISA is unconstitutional. Their main concern is the fees that HISA has been charging and in the manner that they are doing it. So there's another lawsuit added to the list of lawsuits that have been filed against HISA. That concludes what I have to update you with. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from my fellow commissioners? Then we'll drop down to C5, the permittee report, American Greyhound Racing. Do we have anything? County fairs.
Commissioner Contreras and Commissioners, this is Dr. Joanne DeFilippo. I'm the chair of the Pima County Fair Horse Racing Commission. You know, we have a commission and a foundation, okay, that work together. And I just wanted to let you know, we will be holding a joint meeting this coming Monday, December 16th at 2 p.m. And we will report the results of that meeting at the January 10th commission meeting because we have a lot going on. And I do want to report that Pima County, the county, is in the process of putting up, remember those barns that were destroyed in the storm? They're actually getting to work on putting those up. So we do have a lot of activity ongoing, and we'll keep you updated on that on January 10th.
Thank you, ma'am. Dropping down then, Turf Paradise. Do you have any additional comments, Mr. Francia?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, I do not.
Thank you. All right, we'll drop down to C6, Optional Stakeholder Association updates. Do we have anything from Arizona County's Racing? Dr. Filippo, would that be you?
Well, by default, I think. So I think for the time being, what we'll probably be doing is when we report on county fairs, we'll probably be reporting on County Fairs Racing Association until that gets more situated.
Okay, thank you. How about Arizona Quarter Horse Association?
Madam Chairman, Lloyd Yother, President of the Arizona Quarter Racing and the HBPA. We've aired a bunch of issues already this morning before we got to these committee reports. So I don't think we have any. I am willing to take any questions that you might have, but I think we've pretty much stated where we're at this at the priorities that we need to accomplish. So I'll entertain any questions you may have, but nothing else to report.
Thank you, sir. How about the Arizona Thoroughbred Breeders Association? How about the HBPA?
That's me again, Madam Chair, Lloyd Yother. Like I say, I'm open for questions. I got no comments.
Nothing else. Yes, sir. How about the Jockeys Guild?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Darrell here, Western Regional Manager, Jockeys Guild. Good afternoon, Commissioners. The riders have told me that the racetrack has been a lot better with the addition to the new tractors and the harrows. And I know the water trucks, the drivers, they're doing the best they can, but it's still inconsistent. So, but I know they're working really hard at it, and they're working with the riders, and we really appreciate it. They have some really good employees working those machines that they have. But again, my concern, and I hope moving forward, is that there's more staff that's hired to address these issues that we have ongoing in a timely manner, just to make things as safe as we can. Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Dropping down to C7, update of the Arizona Horse Racing Economic Contribution Study. Do we have anybody from the Department of Agriculture and Resource Economics? All right, drop down to D, Commissioner. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Excuse me, I was having trouble finding my mic button there, but Leroy Guessman again with the HPPA. I guess Jose is not with us today.
Okay.
But I just can give you we are still taking surveys this week. This will be the final week we're taking surveys. So if anybody has neglected not to get a survey in, we'd sure appreciate them doing so. We have surveys at our office, at the Horseman's Bookkeeper office, and we can email you a link or you can fill out a hard copy, either one. I do want to thank the Turf Paradise accounting staff for getting the information they got in for the study. That is going to be very helpful to us for that information, and appreciate them getting that all put together and sent in to Jose. We are in the final stages. Like I said, this week is the final week for taking surveys. Then we'll start compiling the information. I think the next step, Jose told me yesterday, is he's going to start the validating process. And hopefully we have something by mid-January as far as the final report. Any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
How's the response coming? What's your response numbers?
I don't have an update on the exact response on the trainers and owners. The breeders I did hear was very promising. I have to say I was a little bit somewhat disappointed in the trainers and owners. And all three tracks have submitted information, which was very important to get the tracks of information. But the trainers and owners, I was somewhat disappointed in.
That's unfortunate.
Yes.
Thank you for that, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments before I drop down to commission reports? All right, we'll drop down to D1. Do I have summary of current events affecting the Arizona Racing Commission? This would be for my commission members to report, or the director. Anything?
Chairwoman, nothing from me.
Thank you, ma'am. How about identification matters be placed on the future agenda? Anything we haven't already discussed that's going to be moving forward?
Chair, this is Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
I'm sure the department is already ahead of us on this, but if we could just get an additional update at our January 10th meeting on the status of open items with Turf Paradise. I know that's before the 45-day conditional expires, but I'd like an update at that meeting if we could.
We can do that.
Mr. Braddock, you had something to add? Okay, those hands went down. All right, anything else before we drop down to call to the public? I have a request from Mr. Nolan to speak. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair and fellow commissioners and the audience. I'll just be brief to make a statement concerning Mr. Sims' employee, Craig Braddock, that you need to know he's an employee. So with that said, that's that. I've been here 30 to 35 years. He's been a few years and he is an employee. So end of there. I do believe that my efforts to bring awareness, there is a great big awareness, and I thank this commission. I thank the staff of the department. We are trying to prevent another Groundhog Day next September, and I think it's happening. We've got this awareness. We even have acknowledgement from Turf Paradise of all the inadequacies that have gone on, and it's 5 weeks into the meet. We're another month from water trucks. I'm concerned that this commission and the department are taking too much of what's said by Turf Paradise staff, that they're working hard on this, that this needs to be done. If they're not capable, maybe they ought not be in the position they are. That no one's fault but their own. And now for the last A word, accountability. They're allowed to get away with this. The delay game, we got 45 days. We have 45 days last time. Again, we're just trying to prevent another Groundhog Day next year so that something can be accomplished during the summer. It is very important that this meet continue. Too many people's lives and livelihoods are at stake. The wagering public needs to understand that this commission is going to take the actions necessary to move an industry forward. We do see some. I'm happy with a tiny bit this year, and hopefully come the last day when that last horse leaves in May, we see what's necessary, what's been neglected for nearly 20 years, 25 years, or 24 since he's been here. The delay game just shouldn't be allowed. If they're not capable, their license should be probationary. It's not my job. I'm glad that we're moving forward. We have awareness, acknowledgement, but we don't have any accountability yet. And that's where I'm going to stay with. I think my efforts have brought a lot of change, and it's the goal. It's not to hurt, but what's been happening has been allowed to happen. It's the focus of a 10-year litigation against the commission. And those things are negative impact to our industry. We are in bad light here in Arizona because of these litigations, and people don't want to come because there's too much uncertainty. We need to enforce the rules. And it's not easy. It's not easy for me to say these things, but I see movement forward. I can't wait for the financials to be disclosed. This seems to be a long time. It's obviously a lot more there than one would know. Director Johnson has alluded to that there'll be an update when appropriate or when completed. And I can't thank the staff for taking this serious. We have a wonderful industry. We need to get it back to be even more wonderful. These people work hard. It's a different kind of industry than an 8 to 5 industry. These people are here morning and afternoons to take care of equine individuals, to put on the show for the permittee. And I can't thank you all enough. And it's not me trying to hurt horse racing by bringing awareness. I'm hoping that it has a positive impact in the long run. And with that, I thank you for your time.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Mr. Nolan, Mr. Hayes, you raised your hand. You'd like to speak? Brian Hayes? Dr. DiFilippo?
Yes, Chair Contreras and Commissioners, thank you. I'm wondering if you might consider in a future meeting, in the latest state budget, there were 2 appropriations. One was for 1.5 million for operations and maintenance, and it was designated for a racetrack in Maricopa County. And the other was, I believe, somewhere around about 1.355 million for HISA. I don't know if those funds were appropriated through advance payments or reimbursement requests with drawdowns to there. And I'm wondering if you might be able to give us an overview. If it's an advance payment, were all of those funds in its entirety disseminated? If it's on a reimbursement, what is the rate of spend down to date of those funds to the recipients, let's say? I think it might be interesting for us to see, as we're talking about infrastructure needs, et cetera, how much have we spent? How much do we have remaining? And is it going to be enough? And it's in the area of accountability for taxpayer funds. Thank you.
If appropriate, I'll leave that to the director to make a determination if accounting would like to do any kind of update on that at a future agenda. Any other comments? Otherwise, we can drop down then to any other announcements, comments from staff or commission. Otherwise, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Olson moves to adjourn.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Coolidge. All right, with that, go ahead, Anna.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Olson and a second by Commissioner Coolidge. I will call the roll. Madam French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Paddish.
Yes.
Thank you. It is now 12:49 and this meeting has adjourned. If everyone can please exit the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.